shadow in the government's game. Pawn as a child with no face and no name. They stole my past to leave me cold and alone. Always searching for a place I could call home. I was lost in the dark, just a tool in the hand, till she pulled me close and helped me understand. Now the fire inside is starting to rise. I can see the truth through 1,000 lies. Now I tear through the veil, leave holes in the sky. I can read every tone in the blink of an eye. Danica, my witch, she's the magic in me. Yeah, I finally found what they took from me. With a hellhound beside me, I'm standing my ground. No longer a ghost that's never been found. In the dead of the night, I can hear the call. All the ghosts of my past scratching through the wall. My eyes change colors, the power has grown. With Crowley the Hound, I'm never alone. I used to be hollow, a man made of glass, but now I am reclaiming every year that has passed. Every memory is falling right back into place. I know every name and I remember every face. Now I tear through the veil, leave holes in the sky. I can read every thought in the blink of an eye. Danica, my witch, she's the magic in me. Yeah, I finally found what they took from me. With a hell on beside me, I'm standing my ground. No longer a ghost that's never been found. I ain't running no more, yeah, I'm ready to fight. Gonna settle that debt in the depth of the night. They tried to break me, they tried to erase, but they can't hide the blood from the scars on my face. The veil is thin and the engine is hot. I'm taking back everything that they thought I forgot. Now I tear through the veil, leave holes in the sky. I can read every thought in the blink of an eye. Danica, my witch, she's the magic in me. Yeah, I finally found what they took from me. With a tailhound beside me, I'm standing my ground. No longer a ghost that's never been found. I remember it all now. Every single face, I'm calling for you in the dead of the night.
Welcome back. My name's Henry, for those of you that don't know, and for those that you do, welcome back. Tonight, got another kind of a spooky story. Comes from the little river town, Alton, Illinois. It's a story about the piasol bird, and you may know about the piasol bird. But did you know that from Alton all the way down that river road, those creatures were painted on the walls, different types, different ones. Yeah, they were, until they got ready to put that new road in. That road there called Route 3, it runs right along the bluff line and the river. From Alton, Illinois to Grafton, Illinois. It actually goes on further, but anyway, when they got ready to put that road in, here's a little history for you. It might even scare the shit out of you if you think about it long enough. They blew away. So used to that bluff was all the way out to the river. They blew the top layers off down to where the present day road is. Then they hauled in debris, rocks and stuff, and made Route 3 go through there. Now comes the spooky part about that. That road that runs from the bluff The bicycle trail, the bluff, bicycle trail, and then the road, that is sitting on a shelf like this. The river is down here. So actually the river comes down and goes under all the way to the bluff. So that highway, which is here, is setting like a shelf. If you had oxygen tanks, you could actually jump in the river and go under the road. No shit. So, if you travel that road or have taken that road or think about taking it, when you're riding on it, make a mental note of this. Write it down on a piece of paper. Make a memo of it. When you're riding on that Route 3, the highway there, that runs from Alton all the way around, down by Grafton, when you're riding on that, you be going along and that road looks pretty flat. But when you're riding on it and cars coming towards you and cars coming behind you and in front of you, you'll feel that like you're riding on an airbag. That's that road. They call it a floating road because it's sitting on a shelf. Try it sometime. You think I'm shitting, get in a vehicle or a motorcycle, ride that river road. You'll notice that stretch from Alton all the way down to Grafton. You'll notice it. Yeah. That's a scary fucking thought, isn't it? Damn right it is. Make your ass pinch holes in the seat. But it's true. That road actually it bounces. As you're driving, you'll feel it. Try it sometime. You think I'm joking? Try it. Well, anyway, we'll get back to the story. At one time, see, that's where the three rivers comes together. It's down there on that river road. You have the Missouri River. You have the Mississippi River. And the Illinois all comes together there and separates. They call it the confluence. That's just what they call it. Well, anyway, that river used to go way up against that bluff, which is actually where the edge of the road is out there. That used to be, that road used to be the bluff, but they blew it back to put in Route 3. All along that bluff, there was these big paintings. Well, anyway, another slight history lesson to go with the story, so it makes more sense. How I know about this. And you can look this up. It's out there for anybody to see. I'm just bringing it to you in case you don't know. Everybody remember Lewis and Clark, the explorers? Okay. When Lewis and Clark set out on their journey, the river wasn't nothing like what you see today. There was waterfalls, there were shallow places. So there was times that they would take that flatboat and go so many, maybe a mile at most, sometimes 2 miles, sometimes maybe 3 or 4. And before they put all these locks and stuff in, there was parts of the river that were down low and parts that was higher, so it made like a waterfall. They'd have to break the boat down, carry it around that waterfall, reassemble it, put it back in the water, load everything up on it, and proceed on. Well, when they got down that far, they started noticing all these big, weird-ass, cryptid-looking monsters painted on the walls. I mean, giant creatures. Well, as you know, one of those two married Sacagawea. She was an Indian woman, so she could be like the translator between the Native Americans that resided in the areas and these explorers. And she would relay what a tribe was saying to these men. And she's the one that was telling them about these creatures. What the chief would tell her, she would tell them. And then what the white people would tell her, she would tell them in her tongue. And that's how they bridged the gap. Well, they started down there, and they started seeing these big paintings of these creatures on the bluffs. The Native American Indians in the area is the ones that painted those. Now, if you know anything about Egyptians, Indians, all these cultures, whether it be on caves, on bluffs, they all had pictographs. That's what I call them, pictographs. That might be the real name, I don't know, but that's what I'm going to call it. Where they would paint something of daily life, whether it be harvesting the corn, slaughtering a calf, whatever it may be. They depicted it on cave walls, bluff walls, on big giant boulders, just as a way of recording things for the next generation and a generation and generations after that. Could see how these people lived. So that's what these Native Americans was doing, was painting these things that they had seen. It wasn't something like they just said, back then, there wasn't no such thing as Mickey Mouse, but it ain't like they said, well, hey, how about a mouse with big round ears and a tail and a big old set of shoes? Let's paint that up there. No, they didn't use things that, it ain't like nowadays where you can imagine something. Why? Because you got more time. You got to remember, these natives that lived there before the Europeans started coming over here, they had all kinds of things to deal with. They had to deal with mountain lions, bears, badgers, snakes. They didn't have to worry about disease, because until the Europeans come over here, they didn't have no diseases. Europeans brought that over here. So, daily life was a struggle. You go out here to fish there in the river, might be a big old cottonmouth laying there, bite you. Unless the medicine man knows what he's doing, you're a dead man. So life was harder then. They didn't have time to monkey shit around. They didn't sit around and smoke their peace pipe or smoke some of them mushrooms that grows up in them buffalo pile of shit to get high. And I ain't saying they didn't get high on those mushrooms. They did right before they went on a war party. It's almost like canned courage. They smoked that old mushroom that been in that buffalo shit. Go totally ape shit. Just go local train. Well, like I said, they would float down river, and all of a sudden they come to know one of these big paintings. Well, they started getting scared. So eventually they run across the Native American Indians. And they was asking them, what about those pictographs up there? Now, I'm not speaking their tongue because I would butcher the hell out of it. And probably get some of it wrong and be saying something about knitting when I'm talking about this. Well, the story about the piasol bird is, for eons. Ever since the red man come to Alton area, they be out there hunting along the bluff, or maybe even fishing. And this damn piasol bird would come out of nowhere and grab one or two people. Whether it be women washing clothes down there along the river, or the braves up there, maybe hunting for squirrel, rabbit, quail, maybe even deer, possibly even buffalo. Well, shit. Every couple of days, this damn bird would pop up. Then sometimes it might go several months and just make a surprise attack come out of the air because this thing could fly, according to legend. I'll put a picture up of what it looked like in the post section, so always check the post section because I'll post things in there. Like if I tell a story, sometimes I'll post a picture over there so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about in case you ain't never seen it. Even though you can look it up online. It's called the piasol bird. This thing was just knocking the hell out of their population. I mean, it was taking people that... This thing would be way up in the sky flying. And all of a sudden it quit flapping and put its wings out. Kind of like a buzzard. And coast on that air. That nice cool air coming off that river and them bluffs. It could hold this big thing aloft for quite a while. And then all of a sudden, it'd look down and spot something, like a buzzard does, and just, come like a kamikaze. But before it got down to the ground, it would open its wings back out and tilt them down like a rudder. This creature, this piasol bird, it had 4 feet that could also be used as hands. So it's like an eagle. It swoop down, grab its prey, and keep on going. Well, they tried to figure out where in the hell it's coming from. Well, they figured that it had to be in one of those caves along the bluff. Well, they were scared if you'd gotten a river and floated down or paddled down and one by one check each one of these caves, if that thing was in there, it would take the whole boat crew. So, they told everybody in the camp, nobody leave out from under the trees. Stay under the trees, because when you come out in the open, that thing gets you. So they did. They gonna make it really hungry. After eons and eons of this son of a bitch killing people and eating them, that thing got pretty hungry because they would hear it up in the sky screaming. And it would circle and it was screaming because it was hungry. Or hangry and angry because it wasn't getting nothing to eat. It's probably killing cows and deer and whatnot, but it wanted human flesh. It got a real taste for it. So they kept waiting it out. Finally the chief goes, I got a plan. I'm not going to ask any of you to do something that, as being chief, I should do. So here's what the plan is. I'm going to go out there on that bluff that's all open, that overlooks the river. I'm going to stand up there, and I want all you braves line up along the tree lines. And when this thing comes down, you all start turning arrows loose, spears, whatever we can muster. If it gets me, then you have to decide amongst yourselves who the next chief's going to be. But he said, since I'm chief, I'm going to delegate myself as being the bait. Well, the people, was like, they like that chief. Like, why you? Pick somebody else. There's some old people, pick them. He's like, no, that ain't the way we do things. I'm chief, I'm making a decision. It's me that's going to be sacrificed, and I'm hoping I don't. I'm hoping y'all shoot it and it goes into the damn river. But if not, then you shoot as many times as you can at that thing, and me and it both will die, but at least it'll be gone. The good of the many outweighs the one. And he said, I ain't going to ask you guys to do that because I'm chief. I'll take it upon myself. He was a brave man. Knowing that if this big son of a bitch got a hold of him, he probably wasn't going to live. But he was a brave man. He had cojones. And he had something that a lot of people still don't have. He had honor and dignity. Those are a dying fucking commodity. He also had common sense, which is a commodity I think that died about 15, 16 years ago. Hell, maybe even 40 years ago. It's very rare. You see that, it'd be like seeing a horny toad in Alaska with an umbrella sitting there singing it's 5 o'clock somewhere. That's how rare it is. But if you see a horny toad up there in Alaska, don't take a picture of it. Bring that son of a bitch back, because I want to watch him sweat. So anyway, it come today, and that Pie-Saw bird was hungry as hell. He's been screeching all day long, all night long, waiting for a human meal. Well, I won't lie to you. That old Indian chief probably smoked him about 15 or 16 of them damn magic mushrooms before he went up there on that bluff. So he probably wasn't feeling no pain. But it was so he wouldn't feel pain when this big bastard got a hold of him. Well, the braves all line up. They're good marksmen. Dude, they could shoot a fly off a horse's ass at about 100 feet. And that's when it's raining. So you can imagine what they'd do on a clear day. They was going to kill that bird. Or whatever the hell it was. It was a cross of a whole different bunch of animals. I'll put the picture in the link in the community post. Anyway, he goes up there, up that long path, and they use that path and that big bluff to look across the river to watch for invading enemies. But he went up there and he started hooping and hollering. Basically what he was doing, he was chumming the air with himself, and by his singing and stuff, he was calling that damn thing down there after him. And he looked way off in the distance. Here it come, just a flapping them wings, just a getting like, that son of a bitch probably even put a napkin around his neck. Oh, dinner time served. Gonna be easy pickings. But that bird he wasn't dumb. He may have been stupid, but he wasn't dumb. He circled. Unlike most of these people today that's going to get you, they don't circle and look and see if there's any danger. They just fucking jump. But this bird was even smarter than most of these people. He circled looking for danger. Where the hell's them braves at? This crazy bastard wouldn't be out there unless he just squirrely in the head. Maybe he got kicked in the head by a horse. And he's watching. He don't see nothing. On that last pass, he He went way inward. And man, he come down, swooping down there, and his whole plan was that bird probably was I'll stay closer to land and come in, grab him, and head over top the river, and maybe go downstream where arrows won't reach him. That's exactly what he did. He swooped down from behind. That last circle, he swooped. And them braves was ready. They had them arrow and bow trained on him. And all of a sudden, they started turning arrows loose. That bird had arrows all over him. But he was so determined to get that quick meal that he grabbed that poor old chief by each shoulder and squeezed. Didn't even stop. I mean, he hit him and just, like a hawk with a chicken. And of course, he was weak, hungry as hell. So he didn't have his full strength, so when he grabbed that chief, he started going down toward that river. And them Indians just kept pumping the arrows into him. And I told you that bird may have been stupid, but he wasn't dumb. He hit that water, and of course the chief was underneath of him in the feet, being held. So you had the chief hit the water first, and this piasol bird, the whole weight of that thing, come in and hit him like a pile driver. Well, as you may have guessed, them Indians went up there and they was looking over that bluff. There was several bubbles come up. The piasol bird sunk, and the chief was underneath the piasol bird, so they both went to the bottom. But they had others that they had to eliminate. But that piasol bird was the last one remaining. It was for being a big bird-like cryptid. It was smarter than the rest of them. It always had a plan of attack. It always tried to pick single people that was away from everybody else, swoop down, quietly grab them, and keep going. They didn't know what hit them till it was too late. But there were several of them those Indians had killed along them bluffs, and they looked at it, painted it. If you go down there and look at the piasol bird, there's several big plaques there that tells the story. And again, I don't know it word for word, I'm just kind of summarizing. But yeah, these creatures, according to the Indians, they did exist. And like I said, if you look at history, these people didn't have time to sit down and read a newspaper. They had to gather food, whether it be deer hunt, squirrel hunt, quail, buffalo hunt, fish. If you wasn't doing that, you was getting out your game for tonight's supper. So they didn't have time to play. They wasn't sitting around smoking those mushrooms out of them buffalo shit and sitting around thinking about drawing Popeye. They drew what they seen and painted what they seen. That's how they kept track of everything. But you go check that out. Like I said, I'll put a picture up of this thing in case some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It was several different animals combined. It had antlers like a deer. It had big, giant wings, and on the end of each wings, there was like a, I might want to say a crochet hook, but that's not it, like a dew claw. It had the body of a lion, and supposedly the face of a man-like features. It also had like a dragon tail. I mean, it was one hideous son of a bitch. On the ugly scale, that thing would even beat me out. That's no kidding. He would just, hell, one look at him would be coming toward you to scare you to death. You'd probably be dead before he got a hold of you because you would just shit yourself and die right there. But this thing did exist, along with others, and they did paint them up on the bluffs. Go check it out. You can read about it. Pull it up online. Pull up about Lewis and Clark along Alton area during their journey and type in the creatures that was painted on the walls. They probably won't show you no pictures because those were blew off years and years ago, but there is some drawings of some of the others of what they looked like. And you can also look through like Lewis and Clark's journals, and they described the creatures there. But it scared them. Whenever they would paddle down and look up on the bluff, and there this huge thing was. Like, is that trying to scare us away, or is that something that really exists here? They didn't know. So if you look up those journals, you'll see they were scared shitless when they seen those things. Because they hadn't seen nothing like that before on any of their travel yet, until they got there. And I said they blew the rest of them off the walls when they was putting that road in. But yeah, go check it out. True story. Well, that ain't the only thing that was and is still in that area. You ever heard of the Thunderbird? There's been many sightings between Alton and Grafton, even some down around Rosedale. It's a big condor-looking bird. Some describe it with a band like around its neck. Huge. I mean, we're talking about huge. And usually you see it right ahead of a storm, because it rides them cool winds. It needs that to keep itself aloft. Many of people seen it. And that's not a story, that's true. Many people have seen this thing. It's as big as one of those, like, I think they call them a Cessna plane. Some even claim its wingspread is longer than that even. But they have been seen up to present day. People still reporting them. But who in the hell are you going to report it to? The local authorities? They'll be thinking your damn cheese slid off your cracker. They'll be checking you for dope, beer, whiskey, see if you're drunk or maybe you're just crazy. Oh, report it to these cryptid hunters? That's about a fucking joke. Anyway, the Thunderbird has been seen along that river road. Local hunters in that area have even seen it. A lot of times, some of them older guys might even talk about it. While they're talking to each other, you might overhear them talking about it. If they really think you're interested, they'll tell you about it. But they don't want to be ridiculed or laughed at. Yeah, it's been seen all along there. Along the Piasol there, and down around Chautauqua, down Elsa, plumb down there to Clifton Terrace Road. People on the bicycle trails even seen it, flying over top of the river. Come away from the bluff, out over to the open water there. Lots of people seen them. even people flying in planes in that area, small passenger planes, little prop planes, have come across me flying along and look out the window and there it is, right just off of the wing. Just flapping the wings. Turn its head and look at them like, nah, not today. But it rides those winds right before a storm comes, it hits. And then, now get this. What my personal opinion is, these storms coming in opens up a vortex, a portal, and they fly in to our reality. And when that storm moves, that bird stays ahead of it. And then all of a sudden, another one opens to another, back to its dimension, and it goes back in it. That's why you only see them just a short period of time, and when the storm goes away and the sun come out back over here, you don't see them anymore. It's kind of like they just flew in for a drive-by or a flyby, whatever the hell you want to call it. So yeah, that's something else too. That's a Native American thing. They talk about the Thunderbirds. Plumb up all the way into Alaska, Washington State, all the way down. All over the place. Everybody has a sighting of a Thunderbird in their area. Some of them local fishermen be out there in that river and hear that whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Look up, they see a big ass shadow, and there that son of a bitch is flying. Like, what the hell? That ain't no damn plane. Of course, you know how the conservation and the news and all that shit is. Oh, dude, you just seen a big ass mosquito. Dude, that wasn't no goddamn mosquito. If that was a mosquito and that son of a bitch went to bite you, all to be left was just your fingertips. That son of a bitch would have a stinger on it, or a biter, sucker, whatever it is, straw, the size of a goddamn semi. Are you nuts? Kind of like the dog man sighting and stuff. Oh, hell, you seen a German Shepherd walk up there and piss on that tree. It probably them old pit bulls attack them people. We ain't all stupid. And it ain't rocket science. So common sense tells me if you don't see this thing on a sunny day and you only see it before a storm, and then it's gone, but the next town over don't see it, where in the hell is it going to? Let me guess. It's flying down the road and taking a taxi. No, use common sense. If one town is here, and that bird is here, flying, and the other town is here, and people along here is seeing it, but they don't see it in this town, where did it go? Common sense says it has to go into a vortex of some type, a portal, and go back into its realm. And that's why the next town don't see it. Even though they've been called, the authorities have called and said, hey, watch out for this big-ass bird. They don't see it. Nobody in surrounding towns have seen it. So, where did it go? Something that big, you sure in hell wouldn't miss. It ain't like a housefly at 500 foot in the air. You wouldn't be able to see it. No, this son of a bitch is as big as a plane. You would see it. So, think about it. Which is logical? Oh, the bird decided to crash land down there on the highway and catch a Uber. Or is it logical? Just logical that a portal opened and the thing went through it and the portal closed. gone. That's why the people over here see it, but the people over here don't see it. People over here don't see it. People over there don't see it. It's kind of like these Bigfoot, dogmen. Same thing. There's a lot to our world that people just find it hard to wrap their head around. But just use common sense. If you're watching a Bigfoot and he's peeking from behind a tree, and you finally muster the courage and you walk up there and you're watching that tree and around that tree, and you don't see him take off, yet you keep seeing it peek around as you're walking toward it. Where in the hell did he go? He went into a portal. It's the only logical thing. If you walk up to that tree and he's not there, and you've been keeping an eye on both sides of that tree, and keep seeing him peek around at you, and when you get there, he's not there, he sure hell didn't take a Uber. So it's logical. Portal. He opened a portal. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, that's what they're doing. That's the same thing this Thunderbird does. He just opens one in the air. I know a lot of people saying, well, how in the hell do you open a portal in the air? Portals are everywhere. They open, kind of like an elevator. They open for a while, shut for a while. Now, this next story I'm going to tell you will sum this up. And it should scare the hell out of a lot of you. Okay, so the next story, this did happen. It's a true story. If my dad was alive, he would tell you. Me and my dad was going down to watch my sister graduate down in Florida. And we were living in Illinois. I still do. We got off work that night. We cashed our checks. And we started driving. Well, we got down there by Louisville, Kentucky. And man, that grass, that bluegrass, that's some pretty shit. That different type of grass, man. You don't see grass like that up in Illinois. We don't have grass like that. You might be able to buy some, but it won't reproduce. But anyway, we was driving along there. And my dad got tired, so he said, hey, you drive. Here's the paper, the notebook. Just don't turn off nowhere. If you get tired, look for a 76 truck stop. Remember which way you're going. Take the exit, write it down. We'll go in and eat, and then I'll take over. Okay. Well, my dad laid over there and went to sleep on the passenger side, and I'm driving, smoking a cigarette, and it starts getting foggier than a son of a bitch. I mean, I couldn't see but about 3 foot past the nose of the car. It got so bad, I kicked the heater on, and you know how hot it is down in that area. I rolled the windows down. I got my head hanging out the window, watching the ratchet lines, so I can navigate where in the hell I'm going to. I can't see shit. Every time you pass one of them big signs that said, like, Louisville this way or Kentucky this way, whatever, you wouldn't see it until you was right up on the damn thing. That's how bad it was. I had to run with my windshield wipers on high because it was so thick. Well, I started seeing these construction signs. So I had to weave in and out, it went from like several lanes down to one lane, cutting around these barrel things. The whole goddamn way. Right after he went to sleep, I run into this. Like, we wasn't told anything about this. So I drove, I don't know, it seemed like probably a couple hours. All of a sudden, I seen one of these big, giant signs. And I'm down to, I'm probably running about 30. And it's late at night. There ain't nobody on the road, nowhere. So I was like, fuck it. And I see that sign. Food, lodging, showers, gas. Like, that's my ticket. Now I gotta look, and I'm looking at it. 76 truck stop. Exit such and such. Hey, I'm taking that one, man. I'm starting to get tired now. The goddamn radio I had on in the vehicle, the car that night, it wouldn't play shit. All I got was no matter where the fuck you turned it at. I couldn't even get a gospel channel. I mean, not even a talk show, anything to keep me awake. So I take the exit. I pull down there in that truck stop and I write it down. I write down the direction we headed. You know, that I took a right to the truck stop. I returned to work my dad up. He kind of stretched and yawned a little bit. Where are we at? That's we're still in Kentucky, but you told me I'd wake you up in a couple hours as soon as I seen a 76 truck stop. Here we are. He goes, good. We'll go in and grab us a bite to eat. Maybe grab a shower if you want to. If not, you can wait till we get down to Florida. That's okay. So I told him, I said, but man, I gotta go to the bathroom like crazy. So he said, well, I'll order the food. What do you want? So I told him. Now, when we walked in there was a real old trucker. I mean, he probably should have been retired 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even longer. But he was still hammering them roads like an old road dog. We go in there, and there's a cook, a truck driver, an old truck driver, and the waitress. So I head on back to the John. Man, I had to go to the bathroom. Dude, you talking about a turd honking for the right-of-way? Dude, it was like a whole fleet of fucking turds. I had to go. So I'm in there, shit my brains out. My dad's out there talking. Well, I come out of the bathroom, headed up there to the dining area. And my dad trying to give me a shitty look, and I was like, uh-oh. Old Henry's gonna get his ass stomped, or he's gonna stomp his dad's ass. One of the two is gonna happen right here. So I was like thinking, what the hell did I do? When I seen the waitress look at me, and I seen that old trucker looking at me, I was like, God damn. Must be Kill Henry Day. So I continued to keep walking, hoping I wasn't in trouble for anything. Got up there, and my dad goes, think you got us lost. What the fuck you mean I got you lost? We ain't lost. I stayed on the same damn interstate thing. Turned off the exit right here. You sure? That's you goddamn right, I'm sure. I was awake, you was asleep. I didn't jump off the fucking road that you went to sleep on. He goes, you didn't jump off nowhere. I said, no. He goes, well, let me ask you a question. Knock yourself out. He goes, we heading to Florida, right? Yeah. He said, explain to me, and he pulled out this big road atlas that this old trucker had. And there was a couple of marks on that thing. He goes, We started out, I went to sleep right here. Yeah? And he goes, now follow my finger. And he's going like this here with his finger on that map. And all of a sudden he takes his finger and he goes way over here. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, that's where we're at. What he was trying to say is, we was going this way and back here. That's just full of shit. I didn't turn off no damn interstate nowhere else. I run into a bunch of goddamn construction right after you went to sleep. That trucker looked at my dad and he goes, ain't no road construction going on. I said, bullshit. I almost hit a couple of them barrels. Them big orange and white barrels they put up during road construction. My dad goes, do you realize we're about 30 miles backwards? We went backwards somehow 30 miles. Would you sleep or what? You was the only one to sleep. I had the damn window down, had my head out the window watching the damn ratchets. And trying to watch them damn barrels and watch for a sign because I had to go shit. That waitress goes, hold on a minute, guys. You went to sleep here at this spot. Dad goes, yeah. Then you took over driving, right? I said, yeah. She goes, well, look at this map where he's pointing. And you took over to drive. Up here is where you started driving. We are back here. You're supposed to be going that way. My dad goes, so you had to have turned off somewhere. I said, no. And that old truck driver spoke up and he goes, guys, are you looking at that map real close? From where you went to sleep and he took over driving, there's no way you could have ended up here. There is no cut-throughs. There's not a road that exists that comes here from where you was at. That truck driver looked at me and he goes, boy, did that car sprout wings? No, sir. Did it turn into an all-terrain vehicle? No, sir. Is there anything you can tell me about the drive? I said, yeah. I couldn't get a country station in, not even a Grand Ole Opry. Not even a church thing. Nothing. All I got was He was like, that y'all's vehicle out there? Yeah, why? He goes, well, that's the weirdest damn thing I ever seen. What the hell's so weird about it? It's a Nissan Sentra. It's easy on gas. He just stared at it like he was amazed. But then I noticed the way he was dressed. Really strange. He had looked like 1950s, 1960s type dress. You know, the way he was dressed. I looked over at the waitress. She had on an outfit that the waitresses used to wear in the 1950s. I told my dad, I said, I know you're pissed. Let's get the fuck out of here. What the hell's wrong with you? We ain't even... I said, let's get the fuck out of here. Now. I said, you either get up or I'll fucking leave you. I'm getting the fuck out of here. We got our stuff to go. Went out and got in the vehicle. Didn't even gas up. We still had probably a half a tank. But I wanted the fuck out of there. Because I knew what was happening. He didn't, and I wasn't going to tell him until after we got the fuck out of there. I'm driving. I don't give a fuck to make sure you go over there to get up on the interstate. And again, as soon as he pulled onto that ramp to go up there to get on that road, the fog kicked in again. He goes, find me something on the radio. I turned on. Nothing. Just a bunch of static. And he's sitting there going to his hair. He goes, what the hell is that? I said, static electricity. Your hair is sticking to the ceiling. Put your damn hat on. He goes, what the hell? What was going on back there? What the hell was your... What did you have to do, fart or what? I said, no. Dude, didn't you notice the way that truck driver was dressed? Didn't you notice the trailer truck in the parking lot? Did you notice the way the waitress was dressed? Did you even notice anything different about the inside of that truck stop? He goes, well, it reminded me of the old days when I was a kid. Precisely my point. How in the fuck did we get from way over here to way over there and there ain't no fucking road? He goes, what in the hell are you trying to say? I said, dude, we went through a time slip. Get the hell out of here. You're fucking crazy. We drove. This is no shit. We drove for 3 days and never left Kentucky. Straight up. If my dad was here, he would tell you. We were supposed to have been in Florida on the 4th day. Well, on the 4th day, we arrived for our motel. Do you know that we had about 15 minutes to drop our shit off, get the key, drop our shit off, get back in the car, and get over to where my sister was at graduating? Yeah. On the way back, believe this, my dad had said he was never scared of shit. On the way back, we took the long route home. Straight up. I'm driving. Oh, go ahead and knock yourself out, dude. I'll sleep the whole fucking way. Well, I woke up about halfway on. Where in the hell are we at? And he goes, we ain't nowhere near where we used to be at. I said, what'd you do? Take the long way around? Hell yes, I ain't taking that goddamn road again. He said, fuck that. I said, yeah. We went into a time slip, a portal, whatever you want to call it. Luckily, we got back in the car and kept driving and got out of it into our own time. I didn't see no portal because of the goddamn fog, but a time slip, a portal is kind of the same damn thing. We lost several hours. I mean, the way we had it planned, we would have been at the motel the day before. We couldn't get out of Kentucky. We kept hitting them frickin' time slip, portal, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it just kept jumping us back and forth. And it's like, what in the shit? So if you're ever driving around down near Louisville, Kentucky in that area, at nighttime and the fog rolls in like it does down there in Kentucky, check the time. See if it happened to you. It's happened to a lot of people. So check it out. It did happen. Now, had we not got out of there and that would have closed, we would have been stuck in that time and probably never would have got back to this time. But some people call it a time slip, portal, pretty much the same damn thing. To me, it is the same thing, but I guess there's a difference between tomato and tomato. You're only as stupid as where you're standing. So anyway, thanks for listening, and I'm sure glad you guys was here to hear this. And if not, maybe you hear it tomorrow while you're walking your dog. But thanks for watching. Have a good night. This is Henry signing off. Thanks for being here.